Welcome to video 2. We are going to begin by changing improper fractions to whole or mixed numbers. Now let me give you an idea of what that's all about. Here we have 5 halves. Now that means that there are 2 pieces in the pie and I get 5 of them. Just like my handmade circles here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 pieces in the pie and I get 5 of them. So count up for me. How many pies does that mean I get? I get 1, 2, and then another half, huh? I would get 2½ pies. So 5 halves, which is an improper fraction, means 2½. And I could draw pies all day, but I want to show you how to do it using numbers. Are you ready? When we have 5 halves, what we want to do is we want to divide the bottom into the top. So we want to divide 2 into 5. Divide the bottom into the top. 2 into 5 goes 2. 2 times 2 is 4, with 1 left over. Now, is it a whole pie that's left over, or is it just a piece? It's just a piece. So what we're going to do is take this 2 and bring it underneath like that. And so we get 2½ So 5 halves really equals 2½ Let's do another one. Let's say that we have 4 halves. 4 halves. Here it is, 2 pieces in the pie, and I get 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. So how many pies am I going to get? Well, I am going to get 2 whole pies. And how did I figure that out? I divided. Here it is, 4 and 2. Now, sometimes I forget which one do I divide. Do I divide the bottom into the top or the top into the bottom? So I make myself this little division sign like that, and it reminds me to bring the 4 over here, and I say 2 into 4 goes 2 times. So 4 halves really equals 2 whole pies. You ready to do another one? Let's try it. Let's say that we have 13 sixths. Now 13 sixths means that there are 6 pieces in the pie and I'm getting 13 of them. How do I find out how many pies that is? Well, I divide 6 into 13. You divide the bottom into the top. So 6 into 13, how many times? 2. 2 times 6 is 12, with 1/6 left over. 1/6 left over. So 13 sixths, you divide the bottom into the top and you get 2 1/6. Let's try another one. Let's say we have 7/1. This means that the pie is divided into one piece, which means the whole pie is a piece, and I'm getting 7 of them. How many pies do I get? I get 7 pies. And what about 25/5? What happens then? This says 5 pieces in the pie and I'm getting 25. What am I going to do? I'm going to divide 5 into 25 and find out that that's 5 whole pies, all for me. Let's do one more. We have 26. And what are we going to do? We're going to divide the bottom into the top. So we're going to divide 6 into 20. And 6 into 20 goes 3 times. 3 times 6 is 18, which gives me 2/6 left over. Now, is this in the lowest terms? No, it's not. What do I have to do? I have to divide. And what am I going to divide by? I'm going to divide by 2. So let's divide by 2. Let's reduce. 2 into 2 is once, and 2 into 6 goes 3 times, which makes 3 1/3. So 26 equals 3 1/3. Now I want to show you how to do something else. Here we are changing improper fractions to whole or mixed numbers. Now I want to show you how to do the opposite, which is changing mixed numbers to improper fractions. Are you ready? Okay. Here we have 2 2/3 pies, right? 1, 2, and 2/3. That means that there are 3 pieces in the pie, and I'm getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. I'm getting 8 thirds. Isn't that true? That 8 thirds equals 2 and 2 thirds. 8 thirds equals 2 and 2 thirds. Now, how did I figure that out? Well, I have my 2 and 2 thirds, which is a mixed number, and I multiplied the bottom and added the top. I multiply the bottom and add the top. So 2 times 3 is 6, and 6 plus 2 is 8 thirds. So I'm doing the opposite. Before, I changed improper fractions to whole or mixed numbers. Now I'm taking a mixed number and I'm changing it to an improper fraction. And how am I doing it? I'm multiplying the bottom and adding the top. Let's try another one. How about 6 and 2/5? So I want to change 6 and 2/5. I want to change it to an improper fraction. And what am I going to do? I'm going to multiply the bottom and add the top. 6 times 5 is 30, plus 2 is 32/5. So this means if I want to know how many pieces I'm getting 32. 32 pieces make 6 and 2/5 pies. So 6 times 5 is 30, plus 2 is 32/5. Let's try another one. Let's try 8 over 1. Oh, no, excuse me. Let's try 8 and 3/7. I'm going to multiply the bottom and add the top. 8 times 7 is 56, 57, 58, 59 sevenths. 8 and 3/7 is 59 sevenths. So how many pieces of 7 am I getting? I'm getting 59 of them. Now what happens if you have that number that I just showed you, that 8, and you want to change it into, a fraction form, an improper fraction? All you'd have to do is put a 1 underneath, and that wouldn't change the value, and it would be an improper fraction saying that you have 8 wholes. So to change a whole number to an improper fraction, all you have to do is put 1 on the bottom. So I'd like you to get some practice with this. I'd like you to go to workbook number 1, if you would, please, and do pages 14, that's part 1, and pages 18, that's part 2. And then come on back for the second part of this video. Welcome back to video 2. We're going to be adding and subtracting fractions. So get ready. Here we are. We have 1/3 plus 1/3. And what this means is that there are 3 pieces in the pie. I'm getting 1 of them. And then I'm getting another one. And what do I need to do to find out how many pieces I'm getting? Well, the rule says that it's very important when adding and subtracting fractions, the denominators have to be the same number. And if the denominators are the same number, then all I have to do is add the top number, or the numerators. So 3 and 3, that's the same number. All I have to do is add 1 and 1, and 1 and 1 is 2. So the answer here is 2/3. Someone gave me 1/3 of a piece of pie, and then another third. Well, then I get 2/3. Let's take a look at the next one. Here, the denominator is 5. I have 4/5 of a pie, and somebody's taking away 2/5. How much do I have left? Well, the denominators are the same. That's the most important thing in adding and subtracting fractions. If the denominators are the same, all I have to do is subtract the numerators. So 4 minus 2 is 2. And 2 what? 2/5. So again, here we have 3/7 plus 1/7. All I need to do is make sure that my denominators are the same, and my denominators are the same. So I'm going to add the numerators. 3 plus 1 is 4/7. Shall we do one more? How about we have 6/10, and we're going to take away 1/10. So this is saying there are 10 pieces in the pie, and I have 6 of them, and I'm going to give away 1/10 of it. So my denominators are the same, and what I'm going to do is subtract the numerators, or the top numbers. 6 minus 1 is 5, 5/10. Now, can I leave it like this? Is this reduced? No, it's not. It's not down to the lowest terms. So I'm going to find one number that can divide evenly into the top and the bottom, and that's 5. And I divide. 5 into 5 is once. 5 into 10 goes 2 times. And the answer in reduced form, or lowest terms, is 1/2. Let's try one last one. I lied. I said this was the last. Let's do one more. We have 4/5. And what we're going to do is we're going to add 3/5. Same denominator, so all I have to do is add 4 and 3 is 7/5. But can I leave it like that? No, I can't. I need to change this. And how do I change it? Well, I divide the bottom into the top. 5 into 7 goes ones, with 2/5 left over. And that's adding and subtracting fractions with the same denominator. You need to remember the rule, but I want to tell you that it gets a little harder when they're different denominators. So let's take a look at the different denominators. Here we have 1/3 plus 2/6. Now here we have two different denominators. And what do I have to do? I cannot add or subtract unless the denominators are the same. So I need to make sure that both denominators are the same. And how am I going to do it? I'm going to look at these numbers. Does 3 divide into 6? Sure does. So let's make 6 my new denominator. Well, I could find many numbers that 3 and 6 will divide into. 18, 24, 48. But I want the least common denominator, and that's 6. So let's change the thirds into 6s, and we're going to keep the 6s the same. But we're going to change the third into 6s, and you know how to do that. You divide the bottom, multiply the top. 3 into 6 goes 2. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 and 2 is 4, 6. Can I leave it like that? No, 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 I need to reduce. So let's divide by 2. And 2 into 4 goes 2. 2 into 6 goes 3. So here's my answer, 2/3. I have divided one number into the other, one denominator into the other, and it worked. So I can use that as my new denominator. Once I find two denominators that are the same, then I can add the numerators. Let's try the next one. Here I have 4/5 minus 1/10. Does 5 go into 10? Sure does. So let's change this. Oh, excuse me. Let's change this to tenths. We'll keep this one the same, and we'll go 5 into 10 goes 2. 2 times 4 is 8. 8 minus 1 is 7/10. 7/10 is my answer. Now, what happens if you have a fraction like this? 2/3 plus 3/4. Or let's make it even a little bit easier. Let's say 1/4. Let's say you have 2/3 plus 1/4. And I'm going to erase this. Here I have two denominators that are not the same. They're not the same. So I need to find one number that both 3 and 4 will go into. And I want the least number that 3 and 4 will go into. And what could it be? Well, if I multiply 3 times 4, I'll get 12. So my new denominator can be 12. And if all you have to do is multiply the denominators together, and you can get a number that both numbers will go into. So 3 into 12 goes 4. Remember, divide the bottom, multiply the top. 3 into 12 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 into 12 is 3. 3 times 1 is 3. And 8 and 3 is 11/12. So what did I do? I multiplied 4 times 3, which made 12 my new denominator. And then I divided the bottom, multiplied the top. I made 2 new fractions, and my answer became 11/12 because I added the numerators. The denominators are the same. Got the idea? Let's try another one. Here we go. We have 3 and 2/5. And we're going to add that to 2 and 1/6. How's that? Now, again, I have two numbers that are different. They're not the same. So I need to change these fractions into a fraction that has the same denominator. Now what I can do is I can multiply 5 times 6 and get 30. So here I have 3, here I have 2, and what am I going to do to change 1/6 into 30ths? What am I going to do to change 2/5 into 30ths? I'm going to divide the bottom, multiply the top. So let's do it. Let's divide the bottom. 5 into 30 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. 6 into 30 is 5. 5 times 1 is 5. And now let's add them together. And 3 and 2 is 5. And I get 5 and 17/30. So what did I do? I multiplied 5 times 6 is 30. And then I changed them into 30ths. And then I added the numerators. So what I'd like you to do now is I'd like you to get some practice. And I'd like you to look at the workbook, Workbook 1. And in Workbook 1, I would like you to do pages 15 to 17. That's part 1. And if you want more practice, go on to pages 19 to 21.